Many years ago, when the world was created, there was a tree called Buabe Molende. There were many trees, but this wasn't just any tree. In fact, it was a woman shaped like a tree who gave birth to all men on earth. That is why the ndowe believe that the human being comes from Mother Nature and that she has the power to cure.
Man of the sea, sea that roars, which speaks and communicates constant messages to man, and man is incapable of capturing them. However, the sea does hear them. It listens and understands what man says. Sea in ndowe means something incredible, terrible, that is frightening, something that scares at first sight. The ndowe are sea. We are men of the sea.
In Equatorial Guinea, the ndowe make up a people group of 30,000 individuals. They live on the coast and subsist from products from the sea, the rivers, and the equatorial rainforest. They fish, grow yucca, practice slash and burn agriculture, small-scale hunting, and gather food from the jungle. The ndowe know a great amount about the habits and movements of animals. They also know a great deal about their jungle environment. They use this knowledge of their natural environment for curative and preventive arts based on plants and bark. Buabe knew this natural universe perfectly well. A world with a strong magical and mysterious component which must be controlled through ritual practices. He was a man who, with his knowledge and his natural treatments, peacefully challenged Western medicine, a medicine rarely questioned and considerable infallible. Buabe Molende Nganga was born on the 19th of July, 1919. He lived almost all his life here in Mari, a village located about 30 kilometers north of Bata. He was a great defender of traditional ndowe values. In life, Buabe was a venerated person, respected by many and feared by some. Matomba Diwange was the third wife of Buabe. They married young and he built a house for her in the village. Escolastica Ivina Medico also lives in Mari. She was the last wife of Buabe. She had 6 children with him.
Now I feel bad, since this man went away. Now I don't know if I will have more husbands like him. Only God knows. If I will have the heart to live here years and years without seeing him, only God knows. Now I'm 25 years old.
The death of Tete Buabe is an irreparable loss. Although we, the family, still believe Tete Buabe, despite being dead, is with us. Even though we can't see him. It's a great loss because he was a different sort of man. What this man did in life, nobody can bring back.
Buabe, when he went to the forest to gather bark for his treatments, would enter into contact with the trees. He spoke to them. From time immemorial, man has tried to communicate with the spirit world or other supernatural beings, but it has always remained a dark, unknown territory, an invisible and frightening world where only the initiated have access. Buabe was one of these. The power he had to communicate with the spirits of night was powerful. His treatments, based on plants and bark, cured and made healthy many people.
Un ejemplo palpable como el de mi hijo.
A real story like the one of my son. He came in, looked at my son, and went out and cut a small stick. He took it and put it in his hand.
Y no hizo otra cosa más que salir, cortar un pequeño palito ahí, lo cogió y se lo dio a mano. Le ungió un polvo.
He anointed all his body with a powder, and in less than 10 minutes, the child was walking.
I went to see Tate Buabe because I had lost 2 children. I was very nervous and nobody could cure me, only the healer. Then he made mosuka with a chicken that was hatching. He would take the chicken out and would make mosuka out of this chicken, from chicken to duck, and from duck to sheep or goat.
Listen to what I'm going to say. Calm down, and pay attention to everything I say. Fall asleep. You, rooster, you are going to die for Bokamba, Dora of Indango, and the Yanga. This is so that all illnesses and weaknesses of your body can heal at dawn when hearing the roosters crow and the partridge. This way Bokamba will be healthy again. It is me, the healer, with medicinal plants, who is speaking to you. It is me, the disciple of the leaves.
Shortly afterwards, Buabe kills the chicken. The healer prepares his mosuka treatment with its blood to calm the ebuhu, the vital principle that all human beings have, which, when it rebels, can make a person sick.
These things that you put in are mwasa, mwa, ibolo. The stone that you put in is mosuka, and this scale divi from an animal, a giant scaly anteater which lives in the hills.
This is ndowe, and he is 60 years old. His father taught him how to be a healer.
Aquí hay 3 hojas. Estas 3 hojas combaten con pulmonía.
Here are 3 leaves for use against pneumonia, with a consistence of mosuka. This mosuka is cooked with egg. Shredding these leaves, then this copper wire is added to the pot with water. After boiling for a few minutes, the egg is added. Then the pot is stirred with a spoon until it is cooked. Then the pot is put on the ground. The patient is summoned and begins to eat it.
After applying a massage to the chest and to complete this treatment against pneumonia, the healer puts a copper ring on his finger to ward off the evil spirits and keep him from having evil visions. To understand how traditional medicine works, one has to understand the concept of illness that ndowe have. For them, many of the infirmities they suffer are caused by other people who send evil spirits to cause harm. These are supernatural and magical forces that come from the world of night, a universe where hostile spirits live that take possession of the body and make it sick. Buabe controlled these powerful forces. One of the treatments that made him famous was the ndowe, a cure that is always done at night.
Hay también modo de curar por la noche.
There is also a way to cure at night.
Antes de curar, si ve que la
Before
cosa es
curing, if you
grave,
see the
hay que
situation
invocar
is serious,
a los
you
espíritus.
must invoke the spirits.
Y al invocar,
When you invoke the spirits in the patient, you know then what you are doing.
entonces llegas ya en otro mundo, ya sabes lo que tienes que hacer.
Then you reach the other
Y
world.
sabes
You know what you
cómo
have to
vas a
do.
trabajar, porque ya
You know how you are going to work,
cualquier
and you
cosa
are in
que pueda
contact
ocurrir,
with
ya lo tienes al
everything.
contacto de todo.
You are
Entonces,
outside
ya
this
estás
life.
fuera de esta vida.
Everything that happens,
Todo lo
you
que
already
ocurre, tú
see
ya
it.
lo ves. Desde luego ya sabes
You
el
know
bien,
what is the good and the evil the patient has. That is why, to be a good healer, you have to control these things.
hipnotizar.
Because if the healer is not well prepared and doesn't have the spirit,
Debido porque si el
the
curandero
patient
no está
combats
bien
against the
preparado,
healer.
Ndowe is a way of curing at night. The healer is helped by spirits that accompany and protect him in the voyage of initiation he takes to see the body of the patient and diagnose the patient's illness. This healer, endowed with special powers, is capable of establishing a communication between the invisible and visible world, between humans and spirits. He can momentarily abandon this world and elevate himself towards the next one, entering into direct contact with the spirit world. It is a magical ritual that consists in extracting the evil that dominates the person. Dole is the first son of Buabe and is 57 years old. He began as a healer at the age of 23 because he was interested in the world of traditional medicine, and he also had the spirit to be one. He learned a great deal from his father, often accompanying him to search for plants and bark in the forest.
Porque no se puede sacar un árbol, primero hay que santiguar.
Because to remove the bark from a tree, one first has to make the sign of the cross and awaken it, or it will suffer because of a useless wound. There is always a reason to remove it, and this is to help. That is why I remove you, for my patients. I thank you, and I ask you to help me be fortunate, in the name of Julio Buabe Molende, just as you have taught us, that the tree is a person, and that the tree is here to help another person, because it is human. Just like a person, after receiving a wound, it must be healed. Then only the scar remains. Like the example of this bala tree and other trees from which the bark has been removed for curing persons. Everything that God has created is to save persons, all human beings. Be it the leaves, be it the trees, they are in favor of man, of healers. This is for a complete treatment when the patient suffers from pneumonia. Then it must be mashed.
Entonces, yonde ganga mebu ilukande sakabo bubo kwe na mutabe bubo kwe mumbe cheve mutudama kebe che mavule ma koitei na kepundwa kana mbongolo kate ngaka maba.
Buabe was 77 years old when he decided to join the world of his ancestors. He did not leave a great deal of his scientific legacy. The little that he left is in this book, his diary, that explains his life and some of his treatments. Unfortunately, during his life he did not reveal all his botanical knowledge, not even to his son Dole, who was a healer. A traditional doctor is one who controls the evil spirits and beings of the night. His absence could awaken all this occult world and torment the community.
The death of this man has left us fairly weak, because we have been left without a healer, without a person of age in the village of Mari. That is why we are asking God to see if his son Dole, who is a healer, will come to fill in for Buabe. If not, we will be left in a terrible state. Not everything can be cured in a hospital. That is what we all feel now.
When his father died, Dole had a dream. He saw Buabe, who asked him to stay in the village in Mari to cure the people. But Buabe was not the only healer in Madi. She is Bokamba Buabe Molende. She is the village gynecologist. Bokamba has the spirit to cure, and her treatment consists in attending women during pregnancy, in childbirth, and post-childbirth. She is Mayoko Ngele. She is 8 months pregnant. She has given birth 4 times, always in the village. Today she comes for the healer to practice bumbue. Bumbue is a natural gynecological treatment that consists in a matuku steam bath, followed by a massage. First, leaves are boiled. Then a steam bath is taken, moving the child around in the womb and strengthening it. The experts say that almost 80% of Africans have had illnesses treated thanks to medicines obtained from plants that grow in their natural environment. However, for certain illnesses requiring surgery, the ndowe resort to Western medicine.
I go to Western medicine because I have a hernia. We don't know how to operate, and we don't have medicines to cure a hernia without operating. And so if I go to the hospital and they don't see the illness I have, I'll resort to our tropical medicine. At the same time, if I see an improvement, I can't believe in this part and not in the other. They all cure depending on the kind of illness one has. All cures are necessary.
Most ndowe are Catholics or Protestants, and often their religious beliefs are opposed to certain treatments of traditional medicine, such as, for example, the ndowe.
But in questions of ndowe, this celebration where they prepare drinks, cigarettes, and foolish things, a lot of people getting together and playing music all night, I don't like all this. I copied it from my mother. I don't like to be cured at night with drums. A lot of witchcraft comes from this, and then what one doesn't have gets worse. But curing with the powers of God, traditional medicine does not affect the Church. The Church leaves freedom to anyone who knows how to cure traditionally with herbs created by God. Illicitly, man can work with them. But practicing rituals that the Church forbids, that is no longer the way of the Church. The Church categorically forbids that.
Village life still follows the manner of traditional subsistence. These are chores that require a great deal of physical effort and are not very attractive to ndowe youth. Many of them have gone to the city of Bata in search of greater opportunities.
Those that are gone are killing the village.
Tate Pitie is a fisherman. He is 76 years old and has always lived here in Ngonamanga. Now he spends his time making fishing nets that he sells. He says that those who went to the city don't love the village.
I have a machete. I have an axe. I take the machete and the axe and I chop a place. And if I have a woman, I plant yucca with malanga and bananas. Everything I plant grows, and I eat it. If there's a lot, I sell it. You see I have money. You see how well I live.
Many have left, even the healers.
Because an nganga can't stay in the village. Without the village, without the people, how is he going to act? Who is he going to cure? This means that the exodus grows. And if the exodus grows, the ndowe people tend to disappear. The culture tends to disappear. Because the culture of the ndowe people is learned in the village and not in the city.
Bata is the most important city on the mainland. All the ethnic groups that inhabit Equatorial Guinea live there. The Fang, Ndowe, Bubi, Anoboneses, Bisio, Basek, and Molende. Equatorial Guinea was first Portuguese and then became Spanish in the middle of the 19th century. The country declared its independence in 1968. Buabe lived in a quarter of Bata since 1939 and there learned from the great master healers.
Los médicos tradicionales aquí en Bata tienen futuro, ¿no?
Traditional doctors here in Bata have a future because many patients go to them with kinds of illnesses that can't be cured in the Western medicine hospital, and then they go to the local healer.
Occidental no pueden combatir con ellos. Entonces van a la cura del país.
Manyege Ivina is a healer, and he also practices this way of curing and interpreting illnesses. He combines being a healer with work as a bricklayer in the city and with fishing.
My grandmother was a healer. When she died, she passed it on to my mother. But she was afraid to do all this, so she passed it on to me. Then, thanks to this, I'm working and saving souls.
Sonny has come to cure his child who suffers from VCLE, that is, rickets. Before administering his bark, Manyege blesses it. A little later, he will personally administer the treatment to the child. The first step is to apply a steam bath to him based on plants and bark. Previously, the child had been hospitalized with a high fever.
Entonces, al estar ahí durante dos semanas, es cuando yo vi que nada salía.
He stayed here for 2 weeks and didn't get better. But a friend told me that since the hospital didn't offer results, that I should change around and go see a healer, because the same thing had happened to his child, and a healer had cured him. That's why I came here. I've been here a week and my son is better. I brought him here very rachitic and emaciated, and now he's better. This is the ituku to combat the VCLE. Here's some bark and dry banana leaves, and these are for massaging the child. After the massage, you take the ujandaga to anoint his body.
Many ndowe in the city of Bata trust Western medicine, and that is why they go to the hospital. Dr. Guy Jens obtained his medical degree in Europe. He fully accepts the power that traditional medicine has in his country.
After finishing my degree in Valencia, I went to Marseille to study tropical medicine. We had an extraordinary class in traditional medicine. The teacher was a full professor in botany from the faculty of Bordeaux. I remember very well that this man told us that in Africa we would run into cases we could not solve. He told us not to turn away, and that in these cases it was absolutely certain that a healer could resolve them. Often we have patients hospitalized for a supposed pathological case. Our surprise is when the family members themselves come to the decision, take the initiative, to tear away everything we are applying to the patient. The serum, the catheters, they tear it all away and take the patient to a healer.
La mayoría estamos convencidos de que
Most of us are convinced that all the ailments we have come from tradition, from magical occult spells, from neighbors, from relatives and other people. Very little thought is given that the organism itself has defects and can cause sickness. The surroundings, the environment itself, the lack of sewage systems also causes illnesses. But very little thought is given to all this.
I have high blood pressure. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. They didn't cure me. I come here, and they tell me that a fang can cure me, and he doesn't. They tell me that a combe can, and the same thing happens. That's why I don't believe in healers now. Those that heal now are in it to suck up money, that's all. The best ones don't exist anymore. They only have the name of healers. Tate Buabe died, and he cured a lot.
Despite the deterioration in the prestige of healers, traditional ndowe medicine continues to have an explicative and curative power over illnesses that Western medicine does not always offer. Buabe continues to be an important reference point for the ndowe.
He was one of the best healers of his time, even here in the city. But lately, I don't want to say that there can't be other healers and that traditional medicine will disappear. For example, the case here in Bata, there are healers here. They're not like Buabe, but they practice in the same or different manner, even with systems more modern than his. This elder who is speaking to you, Father, Patriarch, I greet you and I tell you that we are dead, that we will die. Since we are going to die, I give you my blessing so that you lead happy lives. Without love, there is nothing. Without wisdom, there is nothing. Everything comes out of wisdom, from love and union. My name is Etnomedicina, which means the tree that enraptures, diminishes, and terrifies those who try to cut it down. It's an extremely strong tree, which can even be seen in its leaves, from the Buabe Molende. Be happy, grow, and multiply, and may God always be with you. The world is not just for one person. It was made for everyone.